Hey, and welcome to the launch party, Epic Conversations on Wealth. We are so excited for you guys joining us today. How's it going? How's it going? Where are you guys tuning in from? We want to hear from you. Let us know. Comment down in the chat. We are bringing you commercial real estate experts that are teaching you the game of how to get involved in not only acquiring wealth, but maintaining your wealth, and then how to pass it down. We're so excited to have you guys here today.
I'm Jessica Myers, a real estate developer and entrepreneur. I help individuals create a clear path to financial freedom.
I'm Davon Rees. I'm a hotel investor and a hotel consultant. I've been in the hotel industry for almost 15 years.
Having developed over $8 million in real estate, my partner and I have come together to share a lot of the knowledge that we've learned.
I started off as a front desk agent, and I built my way up to form my own hotel ownership group. It's very rare that you find a book filled with a diverse group of commercial real estate experts. And this is what Epiq Conversations on Wealth is all about.
A lot of the experts that we work with in the industry will charge thousands of dollars for their time. And we pick their brain, and we get all the relevant information that helps you map out your road to financial freedom.
Financial freedom is the goal.
I'm Jess.
I'm Davon.
And we are
Epiq Collective. Order Epiq Conversations on Wealth at Amazon.com today.
Amazon has our book. Oh my God, I'm so excited. We are live here today with the launch of our book. For one, it was a long journey getting to real estate investing. I didn't think I could. I thought you had to save up loads and loads of money to get involved in real estate. And so that prolonged my getting started. How many of you feel like that today? Where, you know what, I have to have hundreds of thousands of dollars. But we're teaching you how to jumpstart your career in commercial real estate through partnerships, through networking, and through building your A team. We talk about public-private partnership. What does that mean? All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're Epiq Conversations on Wealth, talking to our commercial real estate experts that are here to help you build and develop and maintain your commercial real estate success. Today we have joining us Miss Maura Taylor. How you doing, Maura?
Hey, I'm wonderful, Jessica. Hello. Congratulations.
Thank you so much for being a pivotal part of this experience. Can you introduce yourself for our audience today so they know who you are?
Absolutely. My name is Maura Taylor. I am one of the co-founders of TaylorMade Realty, as well as TaylorMade Property Management. I'm also one of the co-owners of Cutting Edge Institute, which is a real estate school.
Yes. Yeah. And you share some powerful details. What is the importance you feel of people understanding about multifamily and the ownership opportunities that there are now?
Absolutely. I think multifamily is one of the best forms of real estate to purchase. In fact, I encourage a lot of people, instead of buying your first time home, so to speak, buy your first property as a multifamily. And not only will it be a home, but it can also serve as an investment property at the same time. And so I'm a big fan of what multifamily can do for not only a real estate portfolio, but also what kind of financial tool and avenue that could be for you in the future.
Yeah, and what about now more than ever, that is a unique time to buy multifamily, especially with the state of the economy, what's going on, a lot of the bailouts. What does that create for your multifamily space?
You know, it's been very interesting of what we are seeing. Right now, the multifamily industry tends to have a lag of what we see happening in the economy. And right now, the economy has pretty much what we've seen kind of been on fire from all the stimulus dollars and everything happening, and all the bailouts that are taking place. But what we're facing right now, which I think we're going to probably see the effects of it probably in the third or fourth quarter of this year, is that a lot of multifamilies have had to kind of bear a little bit of a burden here with the bailouts that have taken place, with a lot of the moratoriums that have been in place, and rightfully so. It's time to, help the people who need help. But in that bunch, a lot of times multifamilies have been suffering because it takes about 50% of those rents to come in order to even function, in order for a multifamily to even pay their payroll, pay their expenses, keep up capital improvements, keep up repairs on the property. A lot of times people are under the impression that multifamilies are these like big people making billions and millions of dollars. And yes, in some cases that is the case.
It depends upon how many doors.
But there's also the effect that they need those rents to come in. And because they have not been operating from that point for probably the last year, I think we're going to start to see a little bit of some multifamilies come on the market that's going to be quite attractive. So it's something we're paying close attention to for the third and fourth quarter to take advantage of right now, and especially those low interest rates as they still sit there.
Now, you are a property manager, and part of our book, we talk about planning your A team. So definitely in the commercial space, having someone that manages and maintains the property is very important. Can you speak to that and how you help grow portfolio?
Absolutely. Good morning. So it's imperative if you're going to be an investor, and if you're going to be in that space and having rental property, it's imperative that you have a property manager. A lot of times people will start off small where they'll want to self-manage for the next, maybe if they have 10 or 15 units or so, even 40, they'll want to self-manage. And oftentimes quite a bit of the clientele that I get is because they self-manage, but also mismanage and cost themselves a lot of money in the process. I believe in hiring professionals. When you buy a multifamily, you don't go out there on your own, right? You hire typically a real estate agent who you can ask questions to, who can negotiate your contract. You, in that process, you hire an appraisal. You don't try to just develop and come up with your own value and call it like this is in stone. No, you get an appraisal to make sure you understand your value. So the same thing applies with a property manager. There's rules that now when you step into this multifamily game, or even if you're in the single family housing industry and you have more than, let's say, 5 units, you now are stepping into territory where you can be held liable for fair housing rules and regulations, where you can be held liable for security deposits. You're no longer looked at as like, oh, I just have a home that I'm renting out. And a lot of times people don't understand that. You can't just come to someone's home and think that you're going to kick them out. You have to understand how to evict them. And you have to know how to screen someone in the first place so that you're not even in an eviction conversation. So I think it's imperative, even from your very first property, to hire a property manager, even when you're in the process of buying a property. The person who you want to bring, in addition to your agent who may be representing you on the transaction, is your property manager. They will understand how the property, what is maybe needed, how to handle if there's a current tenant that you're going to be incurring. They will understand what to do, especially in multifamily or even new construction multifamily. We get invited to the field all the time because they want our advice on how should we set up this leasing office? How should this place be laid out? It's going to make it most functional.
Nice. We have Devon joining us now. Good morning.
Hi, Devon. How are you? Congrats.
Thank you so much for being a part of our Epiq Conversations book. Thank you so much for the conversation. I always learn so much from you every time you open your mouth. And actually, I had a question for you. So you're saying that the best time to actually bring on a property manager is not after you acquire the multifamily, but you need to actually bring on a property manager prior to. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. We just received a call last week of a gentleman who's negotiating a 50 unit. And first thing he said was, I'd like for you guys, once we get under contract, to be able to walk the properties with us during that due diligence period. We are thinking like no one else thinks. We understand how to do due diligence because we know what to look for. So absolutely, it's time to bring us in. When you're under contract, that's the time to start talking to us.
And it's the business within the business.
Right.
Because so many people think about real estate as the structure, but then it's the business on top. And that's where you as a property manager help to come up with the business systems, the flow, and to your point, you have the experience as well. So that's why it's important to bring you in early on as well.
Yes, yes.
Look, so Maura, tell us how they can reach you. You know, if anyone wants to work with your team, how can they reach you and what can they reach you for?
Absolutely. So they can reach me at www.taylor, TAYLOR, madepm.com. That's our website. If you're looking for property management services, our telephone number is 770-406-6614. Again, property management services. If you're looking for someone to represent you in the multifamily transaction, or as well as property management, we handle both sides. And you can also check us out at www.CEIrealestateschool.com if you're looking or interested in becoming a real estate agent or want to get educated on real estate.
Now, is that market very saturated? Because I know a lot of people are coming on now, but you guys provide a lot of quality education. I guess, how do you guys set people apart wanting to be an agent or get involved in the industry now?
Yeah, so, there's a lot of education out there for people who are looking to enter into the real estate industry. However, we are actually a Georgia certified real estate school, which means we provide the 75 hours required by the state in order to become a licensed real estate agent. And so, with us, the education is really for real estate agents looking to become licensed or maintain their license. And of course, we are not only instructors in it, but we still currently do real estate. We're out here every day. We're running our property management business. We're running our real estate business. We have agents that work for us. And so we're in it.
Girl, one thing I realized, Maura, I hope you didn't get too much of the tea, to leave some room for the people to read the book.
Oh,
I can't hear you. I can't hear you guys.
You didn't give up too much of the tea, because I came in a little late, but I heard you were giving up some tea. But I hope you didn't give away all the tea, because we're supposed to read the book and find out the rest.
Well, listen, let them find out. I would encourage you to read the book. I would encourage everyone to not only read the book, but sign up for classes, continue to get educated. That's the name of this game, if you're going to stay current, is to continually be educated. So every year we're attending several classes.
And that's really important too, is to make sure you understand what you're getting into. If you want to get into the real estate industry, especially in the commercial real estate space, you definitely want to understand what your niche is and study everything you can. Do you know of any resources that people can go to that you can direct them to in the multifamily space if they wanted to learn more?
Well, number one, I would say read the book. Number two, I would encourage, I think you guys are a beautiful platform on just being in the real estate space and what that means. I would also encourage them again to visit our website, the CEIrealestateschool.com website. We have classes on understanding the finances of real estate. And they could check us out or call us up personally. We do handle one-on-one coaching with individuals as well, to walk them through their multifamily deals.
Okay, very nice. Well, you guys got where to meet her and how to contact her and how to reach her for her services. So please, please, please reach out, connect with the team that'll get you to success. Thank you so much more for being a part of the project, and even more so for joining us today.
All right, Jessica, thank you guys. Thank you, Davon. You ladies look beautiful. And again, congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Laura.
Bye-bye.
We are turning you guys on to our A team, the people that help us get success, analyze the deals, bring those deals to the table, and really make it attainable so that you don't have to wait years and years and years and do all of this alone. We have this platform through Epiq Conversations on Wealth. Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you. A little late. Had a fried moms out there. Y'all know how to explain it. Mommy do this morning. No, but yeah, thank you for joining us. We hope that everyone pre-ordered the books. It's the last day to pre-order, so that way you'll be the first to receive it. These conversations are really good for anyone who wants to get into the commercial real estate space. So it's just been a series of conversations that we did have with commercial real estate experts. So you actually just heard from Maura Taylor. As you can tell, she is well versed in real estate, particularly in multifamily. We have Miss Sybil Slade, who is definitely a wealth strategist, and so we're super excited to have her here. And the purpose of having this live is just so you all can get a taste of what was discussed during the book. In the book, and also the book is interactive. So not only are there conversations. So, because a lot of times in commercial real estate or when you're learning something, you don't even know what kind of questions to ask, right? So this book is designed for anyone who's looking to get into commercial real estate, learn about the different industries, particularly multifamily and hotels. And also we talked about public-private partnership. And now Sybil, I think she's loading. She's going to talk about wealth strategies, because it's like you want to talk about building generational wealth, but how can you actually retain it and pass it down, to different generations to come?
Yes. And it's also important too to note that, like she mentioned, it's interactive, because a lot of people ask me, hey, Jess, can I pick your brain? Hey, Davon, can I pick your brain? Like, we want to know the information. Well, that's the point of these conversations. We're picking the brain of commercial real estate experts that help us on our journey. And now we're giving you the inside look to what those conversations look like. Like she said, asking the right questions. And we have interactive worksheets so that how can I build my roadmap to success? It's not enough for us to be here in the commercial real estate space, but we want to leave the nuggets behind so that you can blaze your trail. And that's what this book is about, Epiq Conversations on Wealth. As she mentioned, we're bringing in Miss Sybil Slade.
Are you ready for us, Sybil? Can you show us your face? Hey. Yeah, we see your gorgeous face.
Hey,
hello.
Sybil, how's it going?
Pretty good. How about with you all?
Oh, we are living the dream. It is amazing here in Atlanta. We are so excited to have you. Thank you for being a part of this project. Can you introduce yourself to our audience?
Sure. Thank you for having me. My name is Sybil Slade, and I am a Vice President and Financial Advisor with Life Plan Financial Advisors in Atlanta, Georgia. We also have a office in Noonan, Georgia, and we work primarily with women professionals and women business owners. Quite frankly, we work with everyone, but that's kind of our main avatar. Anywhere between 35 to 65, that's our sweet spot. And so I am so happy to be here, and happy launch day to Epiq Collective on this project. Been following this project and just super excited for you ladies.
Yeah, thank you so much for being a part. You're a very pivotal role, because we often talk about acquiring commercial real estate assets, but you help pass it down. Like, how do I have my affairs in order? Can you speak to that?
So first of all, thank you for even including that in the Epiq Collective. I think a lot of times we don't think about how do we distribute things once we're done with it. So the fact that you all had the vision and the foresight to include this component in the Epiq Collective, I think that is wonderful. What I would like to say is that, historically, as a people, and I'll say Black people, we actually inherited properties from our loved ones, right? And then there became this whole pattern where we saw that as the children inherited these properties, they were actually more mobile now because they went to school in another city or moved somewhere across the country, and they really didn't want to hold on to these assets. It felt like a liability, and they were quick to sell it, right? Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, right? And so these are fortunes that their parents have worked for. And then fast forward, you know, to kind of the new narrative. The new narrative is, you know, you guys are actually helping people to curate a portfolio of real estate, mm-hmm. and then have the foresight of saying, now you need to know how to transfer it once you're done with it. And yes. So this whole entire new narrative that you all created is wonderful. And I just want to share a couple of reasons why. I'm not going to go into my whole financial world. I really want to kind of hone in on why what you guys did is very important and why the vision is very important. So first, just know that there's already a study that says by 2053 that Blacks will have a net worth, a household net worth of zero. These numbers were out prior to
zero.
Right. Yes. So these numbers were out prior to COVID. Okay. And now we've had COVID. Yes. Yes. So that
is still zero in 2053.
I'm sorry, I missed a little bit of what you said, Devon. What were you saying?
What you just said just gives me, it just gave me chills because I'm like, wait a minute, we're in 2020, or 2021 now. So you mean to tell me in 2053 that the net worth of the African American community is going to be zero?
Yes. So you see why I was very excited to join in with you guys. Like you're giving us hope, right?
Right.
And then that same study even shows in 2013 that we were at 1,700.
Wow.
For our, yes, household net worth. This is the median average. And the Latinos at 2,000, whereas our white counterparts, I want to make sure I give you the right number, is $116,800. That's a huge, right? Wow. That's a huge difference. Yeah. And so, you know, a lot of this is due to the fact that we have higher debt levels, right? So there's no secret around that, but the higher debt levels stem from having less disposable income, and that stems from having the pay wage gap, and or for those of us who have secured all these degrees, and by the way, you do know that Black women have conferred, I should say, the most degrees. So we're the most highly educated of all segments of the population.
That's why we change. That's why we change in the world right now. Our power is like you brought up a lot of those dynamics. It's almost like seeing the iceberg in the Titanic, and we have the power to change that around so that it does not have to go there. That's the power of what you're speaking of right now, and I love it.
Yes, and so we still have some reframing to do, because the disappointing thing about those numbers is that we're in the most lower paying jobs. So when you look at our profession, we're in the most lower paying jobs. So yes, we do need to create additional revenue streams, and certainly building a real estate portfolio is one way of doing it. So we need to do this so that we do have some assets to transfer, right, to future generations. How are we going to build generational wealth? We have to be intentional about every last decision that we make, right? And then here's the other disturbing number. We own less than 1% of U.S. rural land. And so when I say that, let me just put that in context. In context, privately held land is right about 59.99%. Then you have government, and then you have tribal communities and other things like that. So out of the little 60% of the pie, we own less than 1%.
Wow.
So we do need a new way of reframing how we look at real estate and how we create generational wealth and how we pass it on, because the truth of the matter is the dirt equals economics.
The dirt equals economics. I like that. Just dropping gems, why don't you, Sybil? That's what you do.
So now if you want to know, I'm sorry?
And I was saying it's the art of leverage when you get into the ownership class.
Yes, it is. Right. he who owns the dirt. I mean, you see this, okay, gentrification, let's just go there. It's not new, it's old. But now it looks a little different. We're not just putting a house on the land. Now everybody's building towers and parking decks, generating income.
Because you can't build more land, right? We have to do what we have with the land here. And people don't even think about, like, you just dropped something, and I hope people caught on to it. You mentioned how African Americans own less than 1% of rural America or the rural land. That's an opportunity there. People don't even realize that's an opportunity to create wealth using resources that are already there into an untapped market as far as for African Americans.
Yes. I mean, but the sad thing is actually we had more than that. The 40 acres and a mule gave us more than that back in the day.
Right.
We've been selling it. Again, it came back to that whole mobility thing. I mean, I had an uncle that had over 100 acres of land.
Right.
But he had 2 granddaughters and 1 grandson. And the grandson did not want to be a farmer. They're all here in Metro Atlanta. They're not in Middle Georgia. So my aunt sold the land. If she had known, and maybe if I was in this space back then, I was too young, right? I wasn't even a financial advisor. Let's sell the chicken poultry plant, a percentage of this land, so that you have income for yourself and your family the rest of your life.
So it's almost like creating an opportunity so that you maintain ownership, but then you allow you go in a joint venture with another business to allow them to run their business on top of the land that you own, so that you maintain the ownership and still bring in cash flow.
Right. So now you have income instead of a liability with the asset. And again, this is why the children were selling. It felt like a liability. You know, they got to fix it up to rent it out to someone who tears it up. You know, so now just kind of reframing how we do these things, right? To create generational wealth that for years, there's income that's coming to the family that can be passed on. I mean, now that you have families who are creating real estate trusts. So, you know, while we're doing this or seeing the group economics, you're actually seeing families who are doing this, right?
It's important to have a family plan too, because together, like, that's how you accomplish more. It doesn't have to be a silo. It doesn't have to be an individual, because that's how you come up with creative thinking. Like you said, I'm sure if your family, I mean, with the knowledge that you have now, I'm sure if your family partnered with someone like yourself, we could have thought differently outside the box of what we can do with this land that grandma gave us, that is passed down, so that we can keep it, we can be creative, and we can turn it into a cash flow opportunity.
Yes, so that's why it's wonderful to have millennials like you. If you're already thinking this, and we're just learning, even though it's kind of late in the game, it's close to retirement for me, but I can still be an active player in that space with my children if that's what they decide to do. And by the way, my children are millennials, and I have an edger, so now they're old enough to think about how they want to make their money moves. They've kind of seen my money moves and have decided differently. They don't want to carry debt. They're looking to invest and make money off their money. Off the rip, I was taught to just pay my bills on time and keep a good credit score. That played out.
Yeah. And like you said, you have to think about alternative streams of income, because, you know, it's no way you're going to fill in the wage gap through working every day alone.
Right.
Alone.
Right.
I'm sure people have seen, okay, I need multiple streams of income in order to sustain my life, especially people who've been, you know, working for 30 plus years. You know, they probably did well with the last real estate, when the last economic downturn, but this one, I mean, pretty much the world stopped, right? And so the people who pretty much performed well, I don't have any statistics, but I'm sure they had not only their savings, but they had multiple streams of income coming in to able to sustain them.
I mean, that's the game. That's the name of the game. How many income streams can you create that are sustainable? That's the name of the game right now. I mean, unfortunately, that's why many of us waiting on the bill on the hill and the stimulus check, because we never considered creating other income streams.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's why it's important to tune into, you know, what we have in the conversation in the book. I was just speaking to you earlier as you were coming on. People often ask to pick my brain. What is the number one question that you get asked that you feel about people looking to get into the commercial real estate space?
the number one question about that I've been asked for people looking to get into commercial real estate. Usually when people come to me for that, they just want to make sure that it's sustainable, that their income can sustain them being in that space, right? Will this cash flow? So it's more of a cash flow question, and can I sustain it? Will this deal work for me?
Okay.
So, I mean, because it's still an investment risk, just as if you go into the stock market, et cetera. So they want to know, from me, will this cash flow? And so that's usually the number one question, which makes sense, right? I mean, you want to know your return on investment. Is it sustainable?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's why it's important. What were you going to say?
I would say, Sybil, you talked a lot about creating generational wealth, but I'm sure you can help people as far as who they're not there yet, meaning they don't know how to get as far as to creating generational wealth. But how can people contact you as you're a wealth strategist, right? So how can people contact you so that way they can manage their finances, or not necessarily manage it, but learn as far as what's the best way for them to actually grow their money? How can they contact you?
So they can easily contact me on our website, which is lifeplanfin.com. So that's lifeplanfin.com. That's the best way to reach me. There's a scheduling tool there. There's the email address if you just want to email me without scheduling the appointment first. But very easy to find.
Mm-hmm. Well, you are such a pivotal part of this book. Like you said, it's the final piece that most people don't think about, the after. And I am so grateful to have you on the project. We are so grateful that you came on today to help support it. You really need to understand the elements that she speaks about in this chapter. It's very powerful of how to pass down your wealth. Any final words that you want to leave us with today?
No, again, I am just excited about what you all are doing. This reframing is what's pivotal. So again, that is why I wanted to be a part of the project, because I got it I got it. I understood that there was a big need to start rethinking how we look at wealth, and how we build our portfolios. And certainly real estate is one of those viable assets that we want to go into our portfolio. So kudos to you all for, again, changing the game. And I hope the rest of this launch goes well. I'm sure it will, because you're two dynamic ladies.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much, Sybil. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
We are keeping the conversations going. We're here today, Epiq Conversations on Wealth. We're bringing in our commercial real estate experts, our A team, the ones that helped us to get our assets and our portfolios in order, and we're bringing them to you.
I'm Jessica Myers, a real estate developer and entrepreneur. I help individuals create a clear path to financial freedom.
I'm Davon Rees. I'm a hotel investor and a hotel consultant. I've been in the hotel industry for almost 15 years.
Having developed over $8 million in real estate, my partner and I have come together to share a lot of the knowledge that we've learned.
I started off as a front desk agent, and I built my way up to forming my own hotel ownership group. It's very rare that you find a book filled with a diverse group of commercial real estate experts. And this is what Epiq Conversations on Wealth is all about.
A lot of the experts that we work with in the industry will charge thousands of dollars for their time. And we pick their brain, and we get all the relevant information that helps you map out your road to financial freedom.
Financial freedom is the goal.
I'm Jess.
I'm Davon.
And we are
Epiq Collective. Order Epiq Conversations on Wealth at Amazon.com today.
Yes. We are live on Amazon. You can go ahead and pre-order today. The book launches tomorrow. It's been a long, interesting journey as an author. How do you feel now? This is your second book.
And we're number one. We haven't even released the book yet. Released it tomorrow, and we're already number one. So thank you all so much for your support. This has just been a great experience. It's just conversations. We designed this book. As you can see, just from hearing from the previous commercial real estate experts who are also in the book, they just kind of gave you a taste of what we're talking about and what we've actually talked about in the book. So again, multifamily, hotels, a commercial broker. Now you hear a wealth strategist, someone who's speaking about public-private partnership. So this is just a great way, because we constantly hear questions, well, how can we get into commercial real estate, right? And I always say, well, which sector do you want to get into, right? Really, you need to understand the dynamics, understand the fundamentals, but also you need to understand like I said, the fundamentals, and understand as far as what you need to do in order to be successful. And so that's why I came with this thing called the A team, right? Having a dynamic acquisition team. Oh, we're live, so I can't see all the comments. I wanted to hear what's going on as far as, have you all ordered the book? If you all haven't ordered the book, you need to order today. It's interactive. We have workbooks inside. We have questions to challenge your mind. We also have the contact information for the experts. So that way, if you do need a property manager, definitely reach out to Maura. If you do need a wealth strategist, reach out to Sybil. If you do need a commercial real estate broker, reach out to Todd. If you're looking to get into public-private partnership, meaning using municipalities, we have Travis Sieg on the book. We also have Kendra Plummer. She's featured in the book, and that's for those who are looking to get into hotel ownership or investments, and you need to understand how to underwrite. So we have all of these different chapters in the book designed for you all, because again, we want to increase the percentage of African Americans in commercial real estate.
Because as she was saying, I mean, that was very jarring to me, like, to understand that by 2053, the way we're, our trajectory of where we're heading is zero. Well, like, that's one of the, I mean, it's so crazy because, we started out just to build our own portfolio, but now being able to help other people build theirs so that they don't have to be at zero by 2053. Like, what did you feel when she said that?
I heard it before, but I guess when she said it, it just literally gave me chills. And I'm like, well, all the things that we're doing, so many things that are being put into place, how can our number as far as the community get to zero? Well, if we create all this wealth down, right? Everybody's non-Black. A lot of people, African Americans were like one of the top, folks as far as for people who start businesses or small businesses. But it's like, well, what are we doing to actually retain it? So that's why Sybil made that comment, because if we're not retaining our wealth, then we will get to zero net worth in 2053. And so when you want to focus more on your assets, so that way when you have more assets as far as thinking about your balance sheet or your personal balance sheet, so that way you can offset those liabilities. And so a lot of times people think, well, I have this dilapidated real estate or this dilapidated land, right? Or I inherited some property, from my grandmother or grandfather, and it's not in the best place in the world, or it's not, it's not desirable, or I can't, figure out what to do with it. Well, you reach out to experts. That's why we designed this book, so that way we can kind of stimulate your mind and challenge your thinking. Like, I have this old house. What can I do with it? I have, 200 acres of land. What can I do with this land? Reach out to an expert. Reach out to a commercial real estate expert that can help you turn that, in your mind, you think it's a liability, but really it's an asset. What can you do? What can you do to monetize that land? So those are just some of the things, and we just really hope that you can appreciate it, and so that way we can change that number by the time we get to 2053.
Yes,
we don't want our net worth to be zero.
Exactly, and that's why we're creating the building blocks now, so that you have all the resources and tools, so you're not part of that number, and we help to raise what that number and that trajectory is. Like she said, that was pre-COVID. And now since the pandemic, a lot of opportunities have opened up for ownership. A lot of opportunities, and the pendulum is swinging to the other side. So we are changing that narrative, and I'm so excited to be part of that change, especially through this book, Epiq Conversations on Wealth. A lot of times people are like, where do I get started? How do I even begin? This is that book where you get started. We ask the questions. We bring together the A team. Like she just went through a lot of the chapters that we discussed. We go in detail as far as what you need to bring to add to your portfolio so that you win. So that by 2053, we change that number around. I'd be excited to know what that new report reads after people get a chance to experience the book, experience this new wave of ownership, education that's going on right now. Not even with us, the narrative is continuously rising as far as people looking and thinking about entrepreneurship and ownership differently, especially in commercial real estate. Because I know me, I was going for 1,000 doors, and you were like, Jess, you can really shift that and go a lot further exponentially in the commercial real estate space. And that's one of the things I'm always grateful, for what you were able to do and encouraging me and nudging me in the right direction of commercial real estate and ownership.
I mean, ownership is key. I'm realizing that more and more and more. I realize the decision makers, the people who have the voices. Actually, I was just on a panel last week, and I can't think of it again. Oh, Michelle. She made a comment. She said, bump having a seat at the table. She said, damn it, I want to have every seat at the table. I want to own the table. I said, you know what? That's right. We always keep talking about having a seat at the table. No, let's own the table, right? Let's build the table. Let's own it. Let's keep the table. And then when you do stuff like that, when you own the whole table, then that means you're allowing for people who never really had a seat at the table to actually have a seat at the table. So that's what we're doing here. And that's what we're talking about. We're creating that narrative where we essentially want people to think as far as ownership, owning land, owning buildings, and you do that through commercial real estate, and it won't happen overnight. This is just essentially a planting a seed. You may not do it within the next 12 months. It could be 24 to 36 months, or it'd be 10 years. But at least we're changing the mindset, and it may not be something that you see for yourself within your generation, but you're doing something to plant the seed for future generations to come.
Yeah, that's what it's about. It's about thinking about the people coming after you. Because a lot of people ask, what were some of the trials that you had going into our acquisition, of a hotel? And they were like, what were some of the things? And it was like, what? We didn't see people that looked like us when we went into the rooms. We were like, there's something up here. And that's what we didn't have a trail to follow, a roadmap or a guide. That's what we've created for you through Epiq Conversations on Wealth.
I'm just looking at a comment. I see Ms. Brooks here. She said, I have my chair scoot over so I can sit at this table. That's what I'm talking about, girl. She said, I got my chair. Y'all taking too long. Go ahead, scoot over so I can have my seat. But no, this is great. This is great. The book is definitely on Amazon. Pre-order is being released tomorrow. We have been getting, due to a lot of requests, we will be offering a paperback edition. So for those who do not have Kindle, we've been getting a lot of requests to put in a different version so people can have access to it. So coming tomorrow, probably this week, we'll have where you'll be able to purchase the printed copy through Amazon.
Yes. And so pre-order your copy today. You know what? I cannot thank you guys enough. Thank you, Davon, for everything you've done as far as, pushing me, nudging me, stretching me to get into this space. And I'm so excited that we can help other people now through this project. So that by 2053, that number is totally different.
Yeah, it's gonna be different. That percentage is gonna be different.
Oh yeah.
It's just a forecast, and maybe I always like to find the positives out of everything. So instead of us looking at a negative, like, oh, that's so negative that that it's going to be 0 in 2053. No, let's look at it as like, let's challenge that. No, it's not going to be 0 in 2053. There's too many of us, as you still mentioned, African American, when we're, by paper, conferred degrees, we're the most educated, right? So most educated. Let's change that number. Let's challenge that so that we won't be at a negative or 0. We don't want to be negative. I guess 0. I guess 0 is better than negative. So I guess that's a step up. But before it was negative. So I guess we're doing better. We're slowly getting there. Baby steps.
Well, make sure you order your copy. We launch tomorrow. You can have in your hand a copy of our book, Epiq Conversations on Wealth. We're so excited for this project and for you guys to explore. And we'd love to hear your feedback. So stay tuned. Follow us on Instagram. Also, check us out on Facebook at Epiq Collective. Epiq with a Q. Thank you guys so much for joining us. And
I'm Jessica Myers, a real estate developer and entrepreneur. I help individuals create a clear path to financial freedom.
I'm Davon Rees. I'm a hotel investor and a hotel consultant. I've been in the hotel industry for almost 15 years.
Having developed over $8 million in real estate, my partner and I have come together to share a lot of the knowledge that we've learned.
I started off as a front desk agent, and I built my way up to forming my own hotel ownership group. It's very rare that you find a book filled with a diverse group of commercial real estate experts. And this is what Epiq Conversations on Wealth is all about.
A lot of the experts that we work with in the industry will charge thousands of dollars for their time. And we pick their brain, and we get all the relevant information that helps you map out your road to financial freedom.
Financial freedom is the goal.
I'm Jess.
I'm Davon.
And we are
Epiq Collective. Order Epiq Conversations on Wealth at Amazon.com today.
Thank you guys for joining us. We look forward to seeing you guys.